I'd like to call to order the Westmont Village Board meeting of January 12th, 2023, to order at 6 o'clock p.m. and ask Clerk Simsky for a roll call, please.
Mayor Gunter.
Here.
The clerk's here. Trustee Barker.
Here.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Here.
Trustee Little.
Here.
Trustee Nero.
Here.
Trustee Simonovich.
Here.
Attorney Zemanek.
Here.
Village Manager May.
Here.
Assistant Village Manager Parker.
Here. Would everybody please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. We have an open forum. Is anybody here who wants to discuss anything that's not on the agenda? No, I will close open forum and move on to reports. My report is first, and I want to highlight this, that the Westmont's Restaurant Week, January the 19th through the 29th, the Chamber is announced the 7th Annual Restaurant Week, and more info will be published on the Chamber website. Go look at it. I think there's almost 20 businesses that are participating. They get discounts, so please visit them and go see what is available. The Winter Ball, or the Winter Ball, which took the place of the Holiday Ball, is January 28th, and you can still register. It's going to be at the Hilton, Oak Brook Hills. So if anybody's interested, please contact the Chamber for that too. And we're accepting Citizen of the Year nominations. The 2022 Westmont Citizen of the Year nomination forms are available at the Village Hall here, the Metro Station, and Westmont Center, in the information display rack at each location. Please, if you know someone that you feel deserves this, nominate them. It's a simple process. A lot of times we just don't take the time to nominate those individuals who's done a lot for this community in the past year. So that concludes what I have, and Clerk Simsky.
I just have a little announcement here. The holiday schedule office is closed for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Will be this coming Monday. There will not be a delay on regarding recycling and garbage pickups. That will all be good.
Okay, that's not one of the holidays. Good. Trustee Little, Administration Finance Committee Chair.
Thank you, Mayor. We had an Administration and Finance Committee meeting earlier this afternoon. In regards to all the information that we've talked about, we discussed the personnel code updates that were announced by the Human Resources Director, including sexual harassment code that non-employees and contractors can also expect to have a safe environment. Talked about the hours of work policy, which is an Illinois law, education reimbursement policy for the village, and family bereavement policy that's now in effect that can go a little bit longer than the original 3 days. We also had partial refund of an annual liquor license fee that was discussed by the Deputy Liquor Commissioner, and the village manager discussed water situation in Liberty Park. Public Works has been working along with the DuPage County water issues, and they've talked about the number of responses that came through to the surveys that they've done, and it's looking a little more promising than before. And then we had an audit report come through. Well, business office came through with information about the annual comprehensive financial report for the Village of Westmont, which is now available. And that's about all of, there were a few other items that were discussed that you can listen to on, is it a podcast yet? We should make it a podcast, shouldn't we? It was a good one. Okay, other than that, we do have GIS maps press release. A new press release has been published regarding the new Westmont GIS Maps web page that is now available to all residents. The GIS Maps page offers links to a number of interactive maps, including village construction project updates, community zoning, recycling and waste hauling pickup schedules. The URL for this page is westmont.illinois.gov/GIS maps. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Trustee Nero, Public Works Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few items. Our next Public Works Committee meeting is March 23rd, 4:30 PM, right here in Village Hall. And then we're going to be having a special recycling event. The next event will be January 21st at our Public Works facility. This event also includes a collection of styrofoam, aerosol cans, household batteries, latex paint, car seats, and 1-pound camping propane tanks. I always wondered where those old ones would go. That's a good idea. I got a few in my garage, so that sounds like a place where I'll be. There's a fee for some of these. There's a fee for some of these items, so please go on the website, the village website, for more details. And last but not least, holiday tree collection. Waste Management will be picking up holiday trees to be composted beginning last week until the 14th. And that's all I have, sir. Thank you very much.
Trustee Simonovich, Police Public Safety Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. The next Police Public Safety Committee meeting will be on January 26th at 4:30 PM here in this room. During that meeting, the police department's going to cover the 2022 annual report, as well as give out service awards, life-saving awards, and the Employee of the Year for the police department.
Thank you. Trustee Johanna Guzzo for the Fire Public Safety.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our next Fire Public Safety Committee meeting will be March 9th, 4:30 here in Village Hall. Everyone is invited to attend. And the Citizens Fire Academy. Sign up is open for the Spring Citizens Fire Academy. Classes start April 12th and end May 10th. You can find more information on the village website. And Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll turn to Trustee Brady, Community Development.
Last month I mentioned that there's a tear down at 329 East 56th Street. I went there yesterday. The building is torn down. The area is not left manicured. It's kind of sloppy. It's all leveled. So if I was a resident close by, I would call that number that's on the sign. The building is the property is for sale, and hopefully it's a nice piece of property. Hopefully the home is being built on it in the near future. Regarding, Mr. Mayor, what you said about the winter ball, the Chamber of Commerce has not had a winter ball since 2019 because of the virus. So it's a main event they have each year, to raise money for the Chamber of Commerce. So hopefully you can see more of the staff attending the ball. Also, you mentioned about the awards. I attended a meeting with the Chamber this past week, and Frank Trout, who is the previous American Legion president, he said that the American Legion is going to have an award presented at the same awards dinner. So he's working with I asked what's the requirement. He said he's working with the Chamber of Commerce, and he said it's not required to be a veteran. So he will have that information out through the Chamber of Commerce. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Well, thank you. Is that going to be similar to what Marcel Levesque received last year, recognition? Yeah. Okay. And we'll final over here, Trustee Barker, Environmental Improvement Committee, and Westmont First Chair.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to add to Trustee Nero's report here on the recycling event, that special recycling event. There's another contractor working with us. Larry McIntyre was able to put these people together, but the second contractor, the village had him as a vendor, and they came in and did a presentation to us, and everything that they're collecting, the car seats, the batteries, there's paint that they take, styrofoam, and all these things are truly recycled. They go to great lengths to make sure that the spray caps on the spray cans are recycled. So, people ask about a fee. We had a person at the EIC the other night, and, we were explaining to them that there's a cost to these things. But, environmentally, it's the right thing to do. It is being recycled, and there's a fee just to offset the cost of transportation of these materials to wherever they go around the country. But truly a great program. And then as far as the Environmental Improvement Committee, we had a meeting on Monday night, And our next meeting is February 6th at 5:30 here in Village Hall. But Monday night, we spent a good couple hours talking about the goals for 2023. And they're, as you know, an ambitious group. And we hope to come to the admin finance meeting on February 23rd and share that. But they've identified priorities from the work that they've done in previous years and what they'd like to do. And the topics are things like a dark sky initiative, community tree health and maintenance, as well as canopy status, solar information updates, native plants and pesticide-free zones initiative, including additional plantings throughout the community. And the train corridor came up. You know, we talked about that years ago, but it came, I guess Clarendon Hills did a wonderful train corridor beautification program with native plants over there. So it can be done. How they did it, we don't know, but it's something that the EIC is very interested in. So we talked about that. Continuation of the Monarch way stations. We're on track to at least do one of those, if not two of those, this coming year. Green business initiatives and school supply collection and reuse program. So school supplies don't just simply get tossed out, they go to people that are children that actually need them. So those are all the things the EIC is up to. And then we're going to come back before the committee of the board, probably admin, in April 6th, and do our annual report as to how we ended last year. And that, you know, that's the one that has a lot of statistics and things.
Glenn does.
Glenn does a lot of that, but it's proof that we're making a positive change, you know, and that's important to us. We also have the village is working with Elgin Recycling to provide the holiday lights recycling. Drop-off locations are set up at the library and the fire department, and the program continues through January 31st. That's all I have, Mayor.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to, does any board member see any item they want removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'd ask Manager May to please read the consent agenda.
The consent agenda this evening, first I'm going to just describe something before I get into it. Every consent agenda, which is an omnibus vote for multiple items with one voting instruction, I guess, is the finance ordinance. And we did not have a board meeting on December 29th, which would have been the, the regular pattern. So when this agenda was written, the finance ordinance here, as published, says finance ordinance number 18 and 19, but it will be in fact just finance ordinance number 18, and that's what that explanation is. But you'll also notice, for those that do notice, that it's roughly double the amount of a typical finance ordinance for that reason. So on the consent agenda, this evening starts with village board minutes. Board to consider approving the minutes of the village board meeting held on December 15, 2022. It's followed by finance ordinance number 18 in the amount of $4,179,551.75. Next are purchase orders. First purchase order, Cantaneo Electric Company, $92,017.36. This is the balance of the electrical work that was involved with Addington Plaza. Next purchase order, Safe Step LLC, which is the concrete sidewalk cutting. This is $25,000 just budgeted open purchase order. Next is Curry Motors for a 2023 F-250 vehicle with a plow, $60,443. This is part of the vehicle replacement program, replaces Unit 138. And the next purchase order is also Curry Motors, same vehicle, without a plow, replacing Unit 114. That amount was $59,340. Fifth purchase order is Lexica LLC. It's 11 series, $53,000. This is an economic development agreement, a TIF payment. That was the last purchase order. The total of those purchase orders is $289,800.36. That brings the total of the purchase orders together with finance ordinance number 18 to $4,479,800. $469,352.11. And that completes the consent agenda.
Do I have a motion to approve as presented?
Motion to approve is presented, Little?
Second.
Motion made. Any comments or questions? Anybody? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Little,
Yes.
trustee Simonovich,
Yes.
trustee Brady,
Yes.
trustee Nero,
Yes.
trustee Guzzo,
Yes.
trustee Barker.
Yes.
Motion passes. We'll move on to new business. A B1 permit. Accent Insurance Group at 134 North Cass Avenue. Board to consider ordinance approving a B1 development permit for Accent Insurance Group Incorporated to operate an insurance office at 134 North Cass. Director Sylvester.
Mr. Mayor and trustees, there are two businesses that are interested in moving into our downtown. Interestingly enough, they're very close to each other, and in fact, they're only separated by the establishment restaurant. The first one is immediately north of that restaurant at 134 North Cass, and as was just explained, it's a request for a B1 permit to open up an insurance office in what had previously been a travel agency. Ms. Lourdes Martinez, the business owner, is with us here tonight and would like to make a brief PowerPoint presentation.
Hello, thank you for having me here. Am I okay? Okay, so my agency is called Accent Insurance Group, DBA Accent Agency Corp. We've been in business, and do you want me to? Turn that arrow. Oh, okay. Okay, well, first, my name's Lourdes Martinez, current owner of Accent Insurance Group, former president of the Aurora Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, member of Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, members of Liga, which is a Lady International Golf Association, member of Hispanic Pro, and contributor, author to Today's Inspired Latinas. Also awarded 2017 40 Under 40 Negocios Now for magazine, and 2020 Who is Who Negocios Now. I want to talk about my agency. I opened my agency in 2005. We started doing business-to-business worksite, more like life insurance, health insurance, voluntary benefits. In 2000 we opened the office in Westchester, and we've been doing business-to-business ever since. But 2019, we decided to take it to the next level. Well, actually 2020, we decided to take it to the next level to start offering commercial, which is the property, more like, commercial, workers' compensation, the general liability for the businesses. And, because of that, we decided to buy our own building. And when I say we, it's me and, it's mine, but my agents, I always like to take a vote for them. So we wanted to have our own place, because in Westchester, we've been there for some time, but, we just wanted to have our own house, okay? So, the reason why I decided to come to Westmont was because of the environment. It's a very nice place to be in, and I believe that it's a place that I could grow my agency, not only with the business-to-business, but also with the personal side, which is home and auto insurance, which we're starting to do. It's not something that it's already set as far as the home and auto. I've been doing home and auto only for my clients from the companies, but the purpose of me being here is because I want to open the doors to Westmont, okay? These are the companies that we have affiliations with: Blue Cross Blue Shield, Colonial Life, Aflac, New York Life, Progressive, Travelers, Nationwide, The Hartford, and we have about 40 other companies through our membership that we have with Chicagoland SIA, okay? One of the reasons that I fall in love with this building is because of the history. I understand that it was a travel agency since 1967. According to the last owner, 4 years before that was an insurance agency, and it operated their insurance agency until 1997, when it's, the insurance agent passed away, but the son decided to keep it as a travel agency. Before that, it used to be a convenience store, which he shared to me that he used to come to that store to, buy his soda and everything. He actually showed some pictures for me to share, but after I made the presentation, so I couldn't put them in there. And, I want to put the reason why I feel that it would be a very good benefit also for Westmont to have my business here. It's not only because of me doing business, but I also could bring business to Westmont. By us having the companies that we take care of, that we protect, also the employees that work there, we're working with them as far as doing their home and auto. So they could come and visit our office, and because of them coming here, they're gonna be able to see that there's restaurants, that there's hair salons, that there's different types of businesses in the area. We want to have our hours of operation from 10 to 5, open the doors to the public, and Saturday 10 to 2. We just have 2 staff members right now, but we do have additional agents that might come to the office. They're more like producers. They go to the companies. They're not, in-house in my agency, but they will be back and forward. But as far as to the public, we want to keep it open from 10 to 5, okay? And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much for letting me be in here.
Are you going to do any financial planning or just all insurance?
Soon, we will do financial planning through New York Life. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Trustee
I have a couple
Brady.
of questions. Welcome to Westmont, number one. Number two, it is quite an old building, and it needs, a little sprucing up. Are you planning on changing the front? Because the village also has a, what do you call it, the facade
The facade
grant,
Yeah.
something to look at,
Oh.
to help you do that.
Well, I
And the
appreciate
building has been, empty for several years. When do you think you could, is there much remodeling, or when do you
Yes,
think you can
yes, we're
redo all
doing,
this?
I already contacted the village to see what does it require for me to have a permit. We're doing some painting, we're doing some floors. I'm also, after here, I need to request the permit to build a wall from one of the apartments to create a hallway, because on the second floor, on the front part of the building, it doesn't have a second exit, a legal second exit. The way that they have the second exit, it's all the way down to the basement, go through, I like to call them monsters and everything, to get out. So my request that I already talked to the fire department, they said that I could build that wall just to create a second exit. But as far as the outside, we do want to paint it, make it nice. Because of the weather right now, we cannot do much, but probably once spring comes, we want to.
I noticed you belong to several Chamber of Commerce's, which is good, expand your business, but I also suggest you join the Westmont Chamber of Commerce. It's in a very aggressive type Chamber of Commerce. They have an open house coming up in February, and we have a dinner coming up January 28th. But just get your foot in the door, get to know all the businesses. When they have an open house, they invite all the businesses, they have a separate table, and it's time for a new customer, new business coming in. A good idea is to meet with Larry Fossberg, and it'll promote your business, because it's a very aggressive Chamber of Commerce. It's not a dormant, so welcome to Westmont.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Nero.
Second, Little?
Motion made, and second to approve on the question. I'd ask, Chief, are you back there? And just real quick on the question, have you reviewed the?
I personally have not, Mayor. I'd have to talk to Neil to see if he reviewed and if she talked to Neil. What she's describing, I believe, would trigger sprinklers, but I don't want to misspeak without talking to Neil. I haven't seen any of the floor plans or anything, so I'd like to, I'll report back to the manager tomorrow on that, and then he could report back to the board.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, question? Yes?
Just going to take this opportunity to remind everyone about the process new businesses go through when they're trying to move into the community. The first step is always what we call entitlements, zoning. So before they spend the money on architects and coming up with construction plans, We just make sure that they can actually locate in the community. So they have to either go through the Planning and Zoning Commission, or in the instance of a B1 permit like this, they have to come here and get approval for the B1 permit. Then, once we know and the business owner knows that they're allowed to be here, then they start the process of building permits and going through all of any construction requirements that are needed. So I just want to remind people it's a kind of a two-step process.
Thank you. Seeing no other questions, I ask for a roll call, please.
Do we have,
I had a motion and second.
Yep, motion.
Trustee Nero.
Second.
Nero and
Little.
Little?
Little.
Yeah, okay. Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich?
Yes?
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Motion passes. Welcome to Westmont. New business B,
Westmont.
L Boutique and Spa, 124 North Cass Avenue. Board to consider an ordinance approving request from L Boutique and Spa LLC regarding the property at 124 North Cass Avenue for the following. 1, special use permit for a beauty parlor located on the ground floor in the B1 Limited Business District, and 2, a B1 development permit. And I'd ask Director Sylvester for additional information.
So, Mr. Mayor and trustees, we're going to jump south over the establishment restaurants. Now we're talking about the property at 124 North Cass, another business that's interested in moving into our downtown here in Westmont. This would be a beauty parlor, and the applicant is with us, and I'll ask her to come up in a moment. Her name is Laura, forgive me if I mispronounce this, Vasiliuskas. Close?
I'm glad you did that, not me.
So she'll come up in a moment. I just want to point out, the previous business required a B1 permit, did not have to go through the Planning and Zoning Commission. That's because the previous business is a permitted use in the downtown, an insurance agency smaller than 1,000 feet. They need a B1 permit like any business moving into the downtown, but they don't need a special use permit that saves a business from having to go through the Planning and Zoning Commission. Contrast that with this business, which is proposing a beauty parlor, which our ordinances say requires a special use permit. So this applicant went to the Planning and Zoning Commission back in December. Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval for the required special use permit for the beauty salon. And you're now being asked to vote on that recommendation for the special use permit. And they're also in need of a B1 permit, which you'll have to vote on as well. So I just, again, want to make sure everyone's clear on the process, the procedures, and what you're being asked to vote on. I'm going to leave it at that, but the business owner is here if you have any questions of her.
Would you like to come up and give us some additional information?
And just one last comment, we give all business or B1 permit applicants the opportunity to put together a presentation. Some do, some don't, so they don't always put together a presentation.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Laura Vasilauskas, and I'm representing L Boutique and Spa.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Barker.
Second, Brady.
Motion been made in second.
Second, Brady.
Second, Brady. I have one comment. I know there was an issue with massage license, and we've double-checked and triple-checked, and we handle it the same way for every massage business, that they have to go through our process. So right now, my understanding is you're not going to do massages.
So like we mentioned, me and my husband, we're gonna start, we wanna test, remove things on, and then once we're gonna start, all the remodeling, then we're gonna start working on massage licensing if we decide to.
Okay. And you go through our police department for that?
Yes.
Okay, good,
Yes.
good. Any other comments? Trustee Barker.
I have a question for maybe community development. So the extent of, I was a Polyglass customer, right? So I've been in that building. Is that, an extensive remodel in there, or? It's more than just paint, right?
I believe yes.
Inside it needs like remodeling, and we planning outside probably, the front, improve it, and the sides probably, so would look fresh,
Yeah.
So the dividing line is if people are doing new flooring and painting, typically permits aren't required, but anything where there's any sort of new half walls, counters, full walls.
Well, you know, I'd feel better if I knew they had an electrical inspection, you know what I mean? So if there's electrical work, there's a permit pulled for that, panel and everything gets looked at.
Yeah, I can answer part of that, and I might lean heavily on Steve Riley on answering part of your question. So after the B1 permit, whether or not they need building permits, let's say they're just going to paint.
Right.
A business still needs a business license. So when a business license is applied for, that triggers inspections for the village to go in and do safety checks, fire alarms, exiting checks, et cetera. I don't know if that type of a business license inspection would get down to the level of detail of examining the electrical system. I can find out if you'd like me to get a specific answer to whether.
I'm just, you know, concerned to protect your investment, that you want to do a thorough build. You know, I suppose if you buy it, you do a thorough inspection, but make sure that it's safe to protect your investment. And we had a local fire here, so everybody's concerned. And, you know, that type of thing is, when does the panel get looked at?
Yeah, that all gets looked at prior to the final inspection to make sure that that's up to code, especially if this is going to trigger. It sounds as if she's going to do some more work, and I apologize, I missed a part of the conversation, but I was looking up online. It looks like this is over 2,500 square feet, and if she's going to do that, this would trigger sprinklers also for this building.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Additional comments, questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Motion passes. Welcome. And you, Trustee Brady said the last applicant, get together with the chamber, because they'll help you
Yeah,
promote.
it sounds amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
everyone.
New business C, partial or refund annual liquor license fee. Or to consider authorizing refund in the amount of, I think we discussed it says $750, but we're looking at a full refund of $1,500 from the 2022 liquor license fee paid by Testa Incorporated Del Carmen Restaurant at 214 East Chicago. And I'll give some additional information. They paid for their license and did not have alcohol. They were expanding into the other building. You have sit-down. I just feel, and I think we discussed this, that a refund is due to them. And I know it says $750, but I think we were talking about, and I'll wait till a motion, because somebody's going to make a motion that we refund them $1,500.
Make a motion. Anybody, any comments from the?
We first
Yeah,
need a second.
I need a second.
Second, Nero.
Mr. Mayor, we have a
Nero. All right,
person here? Yes.
no. Oh, yeah, come on up. Motion's been made and second to refund, or credit, I'm sorry, credit, thank you, the $1,500 for their 2022 liquor license.
Yeah, it's just, you know, we've been trying to spend, you know, have a sit-down place, but for the last 2 years, we've been trying, and so something that stopped us, especially while the pandemic came. So, and we know that when you have a place that is only to take out, we can't sell alcohol, right? So that's what happened for campaign, but we just now finished with a place that is a down restaurant. So, yeah, that's what happened.
We heard nothing but good comments about your food and your restaurant, and we're looking forward to the expansion. And I think this is fair. I think we discussed it to refund that amount since you did not, or credit you. I better say that right. Credit you $1,500.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Any other comments? The attorney.
I wrote the ordinance as a refund and directed the finance office to issue a refund payment to the applicant. You're mentioning credit. And I thought they had already renewed their liquor license and paid for it for year 2023, so how's the credit working?
If we credit them, then we'd have to refund them the money they paid for this year's license, because they would have credit on the books.
Got it.
It's so,
It's still a refund
makes
payment,
sense.
though.
Oh,
Actually,
Excuse me, yes, I can speak to that. The 2023 renewal was not paid because
we
of
haven't.
this situation, so we were waiting to clear that up to decide
Leave it in
on
front
how
of
we
you.
would
Block your
move
face.
forward.
So it's a credit, the credit would be a credit of their 2022 payment for their 2023 license.
That's correct.
Great, thank you. I'll make sure the ordinance
one more
reflects that.
question, if the motion's made, but if in fact they don't open for 2 months, does that get prorated, or just
That would only be for a new license.
new license, okay, not for an old license that's never been
Correct.
used? Yeah.
And the restaurant would need the local license approval prior to getting approved by the state.
Got it.
And which is, I think, one of the challenges in this. So.
Okay, good. Any other comments?
Sorry.
If not, roll call, please.
I see you're moving next door, but next door is really a different address. You're gonna keep keep the same address number?
it's the
And you
same
gonna open up the wall or
address, it's just
something?
A and B, but it's the same address.
Yeah, the restaurant will still be registered under the old address, so it'll be 214.
Just a technicality, I'm not
It's
Yeah.
not
214
criticizing that, but
Chicago
I guess
Avenue.
I was looking
Boulevard.
at it, it's a different store. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're gonna keep the existing, I got your kitchen area, and then you're gonna open up the wall in the back for the restaurant then?
Correct.
Something like that?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we're already
So
there,
we,
and everything is.
Yeah, so we're pretty much done. We're just waiting for the landlord to fix the roof now. But we have a dining area in there, bathroom, and then the existing place basically stayed the same. It's
Right
just
now,
the kitchen.
you have no sit-down whatsoever, you just got in and out.
Correct, it's
Right,
just
so-
takeout for now.
Wish you the best in the restaurant
Thank you.
business, thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Any additional? Yeah, roll call, please.
Trustee Brady,
Yes.
trustee Little,
Yes.
trustee Simonovich,
Yes.
trustee Barker,
Yes.
trustee Guzzo,
Yes.
trustee Nero.
yes.
Motion passes. You've got a $1,500 credit you can apply
Thank
towards
you.
this year's license.
Thank you,
Good luck.
everybody.
Of the food.
I just want to quickly also speak very highly of my deputy clerk there. She did a great job tonight. Thank you, Alicia.
New business D, engineering agreement, Phase 2 design engineering for 65th Street sidewalk improvements. Board to consider ordinance authorizing an engineering agreement with Primera Engineering for Phase 2 design engineering for the 65th Street sidewalk improvements. We got Public Works Director Reese.
Good evening. This is an agreement for Phase 2 design engineering for the 65th Street sidewalk improvements. This area is, has some apartment buildings on both sides of the street from Fairview to Schramm, and it is not currently ADA accessible on that sidewalk. So this project will be design engineering to make those improvements, which the construction contract will be included in the next budget year.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Barker.
Second.
Second. Any questions? This is a related subject for sidewalks. We approved the engineering for the Adams Street, right? We
Yes.
That's a little different. So Adams Street actually is mostly designed, and you'll be shared with you too. But that is just to make the distinction, that's a new sidewalk project where sidewalks don't exist. This is a extensive repair to an existing sidewalk system, and it was mentioned based on an ADA compliance.
Okay. But the engineering is complete on that project, and we're going to look at it during budget workshop?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted all these engineering agreements, so. Any other comments for this engineering agreement? Roll call, please.
Trustee Barker,
Yes.
trustee Guzzo,
Yes.
trustee Nero,
Yes.
trustee Brady,
Yes.
trustee Little,
Yes.
trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Motion passes. Stay there. Okay. New business E, engineering agreement, Phase 2 design engineering for 2023 MFT resurfacing project. Board to consider ordinance authorizing an engineering agreement with Primera Engineering for Phase 2 design engineering for the 2023 MFT resurfacing project. Director Reese.
This agreement will be the Phase 2 design engineering for the 2023 MFT resurfacing project that will take place over the summer. We're trying to get a jump on this so that we can have all the engineering ready, we can go out to bid early in the year, and hopefully start construction as soon as the contract is approved with the first meeting in May with the budget. So that's the hope, to get a jump on things, do it in the summertime when the weather is favorable, and hopefully be done and out of there before Labor Day.
Is this the...
Multiple locations?
Yeah. Is
Yep,
this the
there's
road?
multiple locations. They were selected based on a street sufficiency survey that was done by ITS, where the pavement condition is rated, and the streets are selected in that manner.
Again, we've been following that for years, since we started the program like 12 years ago. But
Yeah.
Trustee Nero asked us before, are those locations on our website?
We can update the website to
Yeah,
put those on.
because people are asking, so at least they can see if their road is that bad or not.
Steve, can we publish them yet?
Well, I don't, it's not that it's a secret, it's just that now we've got through winter. So normally when I answer this is that list is subject to change. When the bids come in, and if oil prices are high and, asphalt is high, we can't get as many miles done, and then we're picking what's going to be removed. So there's nothing wrong with sharing the information, it's just the opportunity of disappointment if a street was once on there and it was removed.
Okay, so continue with the same.
I can do it either way, I'm just saying that that's the result.
All right, do I have a motion to approve?
I have a question. Just so I understand what you just said there, does the engineering company make a visit to all the streets and they recommend, or does the village recommend the streets to the engineer? How does that work?
Yeah, and there's actually two parts to that question, good question, is that Premier Engineers is the consultant that we use and is our village engineer.
Right.
So the MFT is motor fuel tax, so this is how we spend the motor fuel tax funds received from the state of Illinois, our allotment, and we apply it to a mass resurfacing project. So this engineer puts this document together, but it's based on information from another report where there's a professional survey done of all pavements village-wide, and they're scored and ranked against each other, and we put together a 5-year program for that. But
That's my question.
how it scores in year one, each winter, there's a little bit of reprioritization that we have to do as we go. And every 4 years, we update the 5-year survey.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion approved. Brady?
Second, Guzzo.
Motion made and second. Additional comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you. New business F, text amendment to zoning ordinance section 5.03 for annex land. Board to consider ordinance approving a text amendment to section 503 of the zoning ordinance to change the default zoning designation for properties annexed into the village from R1 Single Family Detached Resident District to R3 Single Family Detached Residence District. Director Sylvester.
Mr. Mayor and trustees, the village does not often annex land, but we do occasionally annex land. Traditionally, communities assign the most restrictive zoning designation to property when it is annexed automatically, and that has been the practice in Westmont for many, many years. We have assigned the R1 zoning designation, which is residential, single-family detached on very large lots. What we have noticed over years and years is many properties that are annexed are large lots that were, country estates at one point. And soon after being annexed, the owners want to come in for a plat of subdivision, split the lot in two, and build two houses. You see this especially on the southeast side of the city, down in the Richmond and Western Avenue parts of town. So and we're planning to have a couple more annexations in the near future, in fact, at the meeting 2 weeks from tonight. So the recommendation from staff that the Planning and Zoning Commission considered last night and recommended approval of is to change the zoning that is automatically assigned upon annexation to R3, because so many properties, once they come in, want to do the lot splits, and that requires the R3 zoning. So R3 zoning is still single-family detached. The only significant difference is that it allows slightly smaller minimum lot sizes, which enables the splits to happen and still meet those minimum lot requirements.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Nero.
Second, Little?
Motion made and second. Additional comments? P and Z,
At their meeting last night, Planning and Zoning considered this and recommended approval.
unanimous?
Unanimous approval.
Any comments? None? Roll call, please.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Motion passes. We'll go to G, Personnel Code Text Amendment. Board to consider ordinance approving multiple text amendments to Chapter 62, Personnel of the Westmont Code of Ordinances. And I think we decided to postpone this. I need a motion to postpone.
Please.
Motion to postpone, Nero.
Second, Little?
Motion made and second to postpone this to a future date. Roll call, please.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
It will be postponed till a later date. We're moving on. New business H, 2023 DMMC Legislative Action Program Resolution. Board to consider a resolution to support the DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference 2023 Legislative Action Program. And I'm going to turn to Manager May to give some additional information.
Okay, thank you. So the DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference is what's in Northeast, and it's called our Council of Government. And in DuPage County, DMMC is that entity. Mayor Gunter is the immediate past president of that organization. But in DMMC, there are a lot of activities that are done in committees with different subject matter, and one of them is the legislative committee, where they together follow and recommend and discuss and review proposed legislation in Springfield, but that legislation that is of a topic that's for the good of the entire county or all the member communities, which is DuPage County. So they prepare a legislative action program that is that recommendation, and they were all in agreement. And this is just a resolution from us back to DMMC saying that we're in support of the legislative action program as prepared.
And again, this is a committee comprised of staff and mayors. It's chaired by the mayor of Burr Ridge, Mayor Grassel.
Staff
and staff, Patty is our staff representative who's there to look out for our interests and keep us informed. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
Motion to approve, Nero.
Second, Little?
Motion been made in second. Any additional comments? Patty, you got anything to add? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Motion passes. We'll move on to the new business I, 2021-22 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. board to consider an ordinance accepting the fiscal year 2021-22 annual comprehensive financial report. Director Cunningham.
Tonight, we have Martha Trotter from
Review.
Sickage LLC. She's a partner there, and she's going to present our audit report. But first, I want to thank Cindy Westra for coordinating the whole package and making sure it got done. So, big thank you to you.
Good evening.
Evening.
I'm Martha Trotter. I'm partner with Sickage and the partner on the village's annual financial statement audit engagement, and I am here tonight to present to you the results of the audit for the fiscal year ended April 30th, 2022. Thank you all for having me here tonight, and as part of the audit engagement, we issue quite a few reports, and I do want to acknowledge and thank all the assistance provided to us from staff from the finance department in preparation. An audit is inherently an additional burden to the village in order to prepare all the information that's required in order for, we have quite a lengthy list of items that we review and test in order to be able to produce the financial statements and issue our opinions. So I do want to make that known to the board. The finance department has been, as always, very prepared for us and very responsive and very professional in providing us all the information and all the requests that we make of them. So huge thank you to the village's finance department on that. I'll briefly cover the annual comprehensive financial report, which is the where you'll find the opinion on the village's financial statements. This is a full annual comprehensive financial report that's issued by the village, and that includes, in addition to what an annual financial report would have, it also includes additional pieces such as an introductory section and a statistical section, where you'll find a great deal of information on historical level of the village over key components of operational and revenue streams and that sort of thing. So within the annual comprehensive financial report, there's a letter of transmittal that is prepared by the finance department, and that's a great piece of information to read, as well as the management discussion and analysis, and that is also prepared by the village finance department. If you read nothing else in the annual comprehensive financial report, those two pieces of information are great, provide an executive summary of the financial statements and provide some context to the number. There's graphs in there that highlight the changes from prior year, and as well as give you some comparative analysis and some additional management discussion over the changes to the balances as reported. Based on the testing that we completed and based on our audits in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards, as well as governmental auditing standards, I am here tonight and am pleased to be able to present a clean, unmodified opinion on the village's financial statements. That is the highest level of assurance that we can issue. So what that states is that based on the testing that we performed in accordance with our auditing standards and governmental auditing standards, the financial statements that you have in front of you for the fiscal year ended April 30th, 2022 can be relied upon. So that is a high marks for the village. And as I noted, in addition to the governmental auditing standards, we also performed auditing procedures in addition to the generally accepted auditing standards, we also performed procedures on governmental auditing standards, and that was due to the level of federal grant funding the village received during the fiscal year. So in addition to the regular audit that we performed, we also completed a single audit for the village and issued a separate single audit report. And in the single audit report, there were no items that came to our attention that required any sort of any findings related to the single audit. So the village was in compliance with all the grant agreements that were tested. And just to highlight with some of the results within the audit, the basic financial statements in the annual comprehensive financial report include the statement of net position and statement of activities. Those statements are presented on a full accrual basis of accounting and are presented for governmental activities, which are summarized the village's governmental funds in total on a full accrual basis of accounting, meaning long-term assets and liabilities are incorporated into those balances, and business type activities are presented separately, and that is for all of the village's enterprise or proprietary type funds. For the fiscal year ended April 30th, 2022, for both governmental activities and business type activities, the village's net position increased for governmental activities just over 10 million, 10.2 million. And for business type activities, an increase to net position of 548,000. So for both governmental activities and business type activities, the village ended the fiscal year in a better net position than in the prior year. And to highlight, from the governmental funds, statements are presented on a modified accrual basis of accounting. That is, those long-term assets and liabilities such as your capital assets, net pension liability or assets, OPEB liabilities are not included in those balances. So the governmental fund statements are presented on more of the basis that you're used to seeing on a monthly review from finance. The general fund ended the fiscal year with an increase to fund balance of $9,241,000, and that's after transfers out of $2.2 million. So the general fund ended the fiscal year with a fund balance improved from the prior fiscal year as well. So those are just a key highlights of the village's performance during the fiscal year. And within the financial statements, there are budget versus actual statements for each of the individual funds. So if you're interested to see how each of the funds performed as compared to what was budgeted as well as what was appropriated, that is included in the detailed financial statement schedules that are included in the annual comprehensive financial report following the footnotes to the financial statements. There were no GASB pronouncements implemented during the fiscal year, so there were no restatements associated with any changes in accounting procedures or accounting practices that were incorporated during the fiscal year. Any questions as to the annual comprehensive financial report or the other reports that we issue?
When it looks like this, it's very good. The on the retirement, Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund, our percent of our portion is quite high. I mean, compared to other pensions in the state, it's at 87%, almost 88%, better than the FOP's pension, which is a little over 50, but we're catching up. We're paying into the IMRF additional 5%, or I think to keep it up at that level.
Correct. So the village is meeting the required contribution for IMRF and contributing in excess where available into the IMRF fund. And there are required supplementary information schedules in the annual comprehensive financial report where you can find what will be building up to 10 years of information for the village's contributions to IMRF, as well as to the police pension fund and the fire pension fund.
And again, the early retirement incentive we offered 12 years ago or 13 years ago has been retired, all right? There's no obligation left on that? Yeah, okay. It's very good.
Who you been talking to?
Huh?
Who you been talking to?
Harmer. No, it's a great report. Any other comments? If not, I need a motion to approve as presented.
Motion to approve is presented. Little?
Second, Nero.
Motion been made and second. Any additional? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Motion passes, and I know we'll see an executive session here shortly to go over some additional stuff. Anybody have any miscellaneous? Nope. Then I need an executive session to discuss matters that are allowed by law. One, the purchase of property for the use of the village pursuant to Section 2C5 of the Open Meetings Act, and two, second one, a meeting with external auditor pursuant to Section 2C29 of the Open Meetings Act. I need a motion to go in executive session for those reasons.
I have a question. Two things. I'd like the police chief to explain what the status is of the junior high school about traffic, because it's getting a little out of hand. And I have a comment after he's finished. Thank you.
Do we finish the
Let me make a motion
miscellaneous,
first.
or?
This is still under miscellaneous.
Okay.
We'll go back and repeat the executive session information.
Thank you, Trustee Brady. So we've had some activity up at the junior high, and it's stemming from the dismissal time and parents coming to pick up their kids. There's been a few complaints that have been floated around. My department has been made aware of the complaints. We've had a heavier police presence at the junior high this week, backing up to the beginning of the school year, because traffic patterns always change and shift from year to year. And with post-pandemic, there are definitely a lot more parents driving their children to and from school and taking the bus or having them walk. Definitely a change in the last year and a half or so. So we've, and then just specifically the safety issue is cars that are in line at the junior high to pick up kind of bend around the corner onto Black Hawk Drive, which is a no parking both sides of the street, and then they're parked standing. There's obviously drivers in the car, but they're blocking traffic trying to go north and south on Oakwood Drive. So we've been there the last few days and with officers talking to the parents and redirecting them to a different pickup location, and things seem to be, they were good yesterday when I was up there. I was not up there today, but I haven't heard any new complaints. But it's something certainly that anytime there's a traffic issue where there's a lot of congestion in a short amount of time, we'll try to get up there, re-educate, mitigate the problem, and then hopefully change the behavior of the drivers.
The reason why I bring that up, Black Hawk's a very narrow street. You have two things happening late in the afternoon and early in the morning. You have the students in the high school driving one direction going west. In the same afternoon, you have mothers picking up the students in the junior high school. With the backage of the cars, if you had any type of emergency in the area, no vehicle, an ambulance could not make it through, nor a fire truck. So my point is a safety issue. I mean, if the mother, I'm surprised the District 201 superintendent and the principal of junior high school has not got a plan together. A simple plan would be have them route them, I know people doesn't live in the area, so you might not understand what I'm saying. They could circle around and come off Williamsburg or come down Oakwood, actually from the north to go west, or circle through the parking lot to pick up their students. Even if they had to go a half a block away to Tidewater Park to pick up their children. But the biggest thing is safety right now. The street gets blocked. It's gridlock for close to 45 minutes. An emergency could happen that particular day.
I do think the school is cooperating.
Well, to Trustee Brady's point, every school has very unique issues. Manning, Miller, not so much the high school, junior high for sure. And there are plans in place, and over the years, we've changed and modified the plan at Manning. First we had it, blocking off one side, blocking off Linden, having cars go south, now we'll have them go north. But a plan is only as good as people that follow the plan, and you're talking about, hundreds of parents or hundreds of people that drive cars, and a lot of cars that have nothing to do with any of the schools in town that are just happen to be driving by. So, a plan is great, but it's a very difficult thing to implement and for people to remember and follow. And certainly it's a little bit different when it gets colder outside And, nobody wants their children standing outside in the freezing temperatures for long periods of time. So that also kind of congests people even more. So, we're on top of the situation. District 201's working with us.
You can't send a policeman there every day. That's impossible. You have other things that are
we
important
cannot have the
than
police there
handling
every
traffic
day.
there.
But we had, we were there at the beginning of the school year, and we had an education round of directing cars, and, as time passes, memories fade. So we've, gone back in the last, this week and re-educated, and hopefully that solves the problem, so.
Yeah, and again, the school's communicating that too, to the parents. And who is the biggest, who argues with you and yells at you the most?
Well, the parents.
Driving the cars.
Yeah.
They say, you're not going to let, I got to sit here, so.
Well, it's definitely gotten better the past couple days, so thank you for that.
And
That's
again,
right, it's
We
a
had
log
this
jam,
in
but
September, and we addressed it and went away. Now we're back after
Yeah,
break.
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just a cycle. We'll go through it again.
Yeah.
Year in, year out, so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other?
I have one more question.
Yes.
The tree trimming program, it ends in April. Is there anybody monitoring the tree trimming program? How is the contractor, are they on schedule? I see a sign up in Oakwood saying that tree trimming in progress. It's been there for a week. I have not seen anybody trimming any trees. So where do we stand with that issue? Thank you.
No running by the pool.
Yeah, they are trimming as weather permits. I could get you some more detailed information on where exactly the trimming has occurred and how many trees have been trimmed. From what I understand, they're on schedule, and our forestry staff is very diligent in monitoring the trees and the work being done on them.
Okay. I just want to make sure we get our money's worth out of the contractor, that's all. Because there are trees on my street that are growing together. I'm not worried about mine, I'm saying about on the parkways.
Yep.
So hopefully, somebody's observing trees that are growing together becoming unsafe.
Yeah, yep, they are right on top of it.
Thank
so.
you. Mr. Mayor, I'm
Thank
sorry
you.
to tie you up there.
No, good question. Now, I do need executive session for the purpose of purchase of property for the use of the village pursuant to Section 2C5 of the Open Meetings Act, and a meeting with our external auditor pursuant to Section 2C29 of the Open Meetings Act. Do I have a motion?
motion to adjourn for the said reasons to executive session. Nero.
Second, Little.
Motion been made, second to adjourn to executive session, and it won't be a long one, so I need a roll call, please.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Grady.
Yes.
Again, I want to thank everyone. We're going to adjourn into executive session. There will not be any further business when we come out, when I adjourn the regular meeting. So again, we're going to executive session. Thank you.